everybody. This is the Michigan Innovation Podcast, and we are so excited because today we have two of the stars from Traverse City with us. We have Steve Rice from Oops and NMC, as well as Michael Broodo from TC Connect. And so we are so excited. And we're going to begin with Steve. How you doing today, Steve?
Good, and I'm learning how to pronounce Michael's last name.
Yeah, that
Yeah, it's a tough one.
makes me want to drink a beer.
Yeah.
Broodo.
Broodo, beer dairy.
I love
Drink the
it.
beer, we'll go hunting in the fall together.
That's right. That's right. How you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Awesome to come down
All
here.
right. Well, let's get to it. Let's get right into it. And what I'd like to do first is I always like to do an origin story of each person because we're people first and we want to know what's going on. Who are you? How'd you end up where you are? So go ahead and give us a little bit of an introduction to who Steve Rice is.
Sure. Again, my name's Steve Rice. I work with Oops and the college, Northwestern Michigan College in Traverse City, Michigan. You just mentioned the person first. When we started Oops with Will Kitchen, who was on a previous podcast, one of the questions it came up with, and one of the things that we think makes us different is we think person first, entrepreneur second, business third. So the idea of starting off with person first, there's something magical about starting with the person. So my own story is I've been in Traverse City for 18 years, teaching at the college for 13, going on 14. I've always been an innovator in the space of education, but I'm always trying to reimagine education for what it can be and what it could be, as opposed to maybe what it is and how it's influencing people. So
wow, that's
coming
really
out of
thinking
Oops,
out of the box.
Well, meeting Will and getting to know Will, the Office of Possibilities, the name invites disruptive innovation. And actually our first logo says, please disrupt. So it's Office of Possibilities, please disrupt. So Will is more focused on the business entrepreneurship side of things using traditional language. And my focus is more in the space of education. How can we change education in the future so that it's more human-centered?
Excellent.
Really
Excellent.
about people. So person first, entrepreneur second, business third.
What a great mantra. I was just going to say, so you've been in Traverse City, how long?
18 years.
18 years. Where'd you come from before that?
Grew up in Philadelphia, outside west of Philadelphia. Moved from there to Boston. Spent most of my time in Boston. Then went to Illinois, and from Illinois we came here. So my wife grew up in Traverse City. That's how I got to know the area. I only knew the Jersey Shore. And so we came to Traverse City, and I got out of the car and I was like, holy moly, look at that water.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it blows you away. It was a secret for a while, wasn't it?
For a very long time.
What a great story in the city of brotherly love. And you brought that brotherly love up to Traverse City.
Trying to bring the brotherly love.
Awesome. Well, and now let's move on to Michael. Michael, what is your story? And cozy on up to our little microphone.
Yeah. Well, we probably don't have enough time for the full story, but I moved to Traverse City about 9 months ago. My fiance is born and raised Traverse City, and my background's really in public policy. I spent about a year in DC. I've lived all over the country. Lived in Canada for about 5 years. But I work for Traverse Connect. We're formerly the Chamber of Commerce, and we're really focused on economic development in the Northern Michigan region and helping business owners, entrepreneurs, people who want to come and live in the beautiful Grand Traverse region, start a life here, and create family sustaining jobs that are going to last a lifetime in the beautiful area that we have in Traverse City. So that's why we're so excited about what Oops is doing, what NMC is doing, and we just love to be a part of it. Get here. My fiance was born and raised Traverse City. She brought me up, but was born and raised in Houston, lived in Canada for a while. Actually lived in Midland, Michigan for a stint, but spent about a year in DC doing different public policy work, and I got my degree in public financial management. But I'm really excited to be in Traverse City. Just one, it's a gorgeous place to live. I figured if you can live anywhere, why not live in a vacation destination? But I'm really excited about working for Traverse Connect because I get to meet with business owners, entrepreneurs, and people who just want to create the best life for themselves here. And the thing that Traverse Connect is really trying to do is help businesses create family sustaining jobs that are going to allow people to live here for their entire life and enjoy the great great things that Northern Michigan has to offer.
Excellent. Wow, what a great story. Both ended up in Northern Michigan by way of your significant others. How lucky is
It
that?
happens all the time out here.
All right. Well, I think that means that you guys have good hearts, that you follow your spouses and your loved ones to where they love, and then you found some success and happiness there as well. So I was just going to start with you, Steve.
Sure.
If you could pick one thing to discuss about your perspective of OOPS from the education perspective. Now, y'all remember we had Will Kitchen here and Brett Sigmore a couple of weeks ago, Sigward here a couple of weeks ago, and they were introducing us all to what OOPS is, the Office of Opportunity, Possibilities, the Office of Possibilities. And so we have another founder, and I don't know if Steve mentioned that, but he is a founder of OOPS. But we're going to go a little bit deeper on the education angle. We got the business angle. Talk to us a little bit about the education angle.
Sure. Yeah. So OOPS is, I was just describing it earlier as think of a body of one body and of two legs for most people. One leg represents opportunity and possibility in the space of business, entrepreneurship, commerce. The other leg represents opportunity, possibility, even disruption in the space of higher education. So that's my sweet spot, is disrupting higher education from this broad perspective. Traditionally, if you think about it, education has been a conveyor of degrees. A student shows up at a college or university, they ask what you want to major in, you get a sheet, you check off all the classes, and the end product is you get a degree, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, doctorate. The idea is that we're a conveyor of degree. Our school is a 2-year school, so we do primarily associate's degree, so a 2-year degree, but it's still something that's time-based. And I think the fundamental shift that's coming is away from a conveyor of degree to a talent development agency.
Wow.
And when you're now focusing on a talent development agency, you're talking about the students, what makes them come alive. For me, it's the language of human flourishing. And what could higher education look like? Imagine a future of higher education where the purpose is human flourishing. We're not so concerned about time. We're not so concerned about giving out a piece of paper. What we're concerned about is human beings becoming fully human. And that's a little heady. And I know it's a little heady, but it invites great dialogue, great conversation. And so that's a fresh space to be in, and it's an appropriate space.
So when I think about flourishing, what flourishes? You know, the word flourishing brings so many things to your mind. You think of someone really thriving. The word thrive comes to my mind. Growth, really exponential growth. Someone is flourishing. They have found a spot where, let's say they were maybe just marching along in life, and then all of a sudden you could hear people talk about, oh, he's flourishing in that new job or whatever. So it's a real differentiator. And to have humans flourish, what a great mission and what a great idea. And so how is TC Connect supporting or working a little bit with these projects that NMC is working on? I know they're a key member of the TC Connect ecosystem, isn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'd also argue that human flourishing includes this sense of like confidence and purpose.
Yep.
And that comes from working in an organization or in a job that you're excited about. Like I was just telling you two, like I just came from a corporate America job. No harsh feelings towards corporate America, but it wasn't until I found Travis Connect where I could find this kind of integration of my purpose, everything that I'd studied, into executing in a way that's going to really help improve people's quality of life. So I think where Travis Connect falls into this is we see education as that kind of critical component of becoming a competent and confident individual, of finding that purpose in your long-term career. How are you going to help society improve? How are you going to help your customers or your stakeholders improve over time? And that's why we're definitely, like, Travis Connect is absolutely a key stakeholder in the Human Flourishing Project, in what NMC is trying to do in terms of innovating in education. So I think like that's really where Travis Connect becomes involved in this project.
Not
Awesome.
only that, but I think Traverse Connect is a true innovator when it comes to this project of, and the project really is a human flourishing credential that
Right.
we're working on. It's a series of courses designed to help people live in the fullness of their potential. So that's human flourishing.
And so David, David's my videographer. David, I'm gonna get the human flourishing document. Thanks, David. All right, so thank you, David. So human flourishing, I have here, you have a very nice diagram, a very nice visual aid for me, and it is well thought out, and it really talks about how do you become a credential, you become credentialed.
Yeah, it's something we're working on. It's a series of experiences, courses. Think of them as mini courses. But the whole purpose is designed to help people live in the fullness of the potential. So to live in the fulfillment of your potential is really what human flourishing is about.
Okay.
And humans really, if you think about it, are the only species that cannot live in the fullness of their potential. Frogs will hop, and frogs were created to hop. And so they don't make a choice. Should I start flying? Was I created to fly? Maybe I should fly. If only I could fly. Well, they don't have a risk that they're not going to live in the fullness of their potential. So when we think about humans, what is the potential of a person? You mentioned exponential, and I think that's probably coming from exponential organizational thinking, right? And what if the potential of a human in the 21st century was exponential? What if truly every single one of us could live in exponential potential? We need to be taught that. Right? We need to hear that. We need to be shown how to do that. And so that's really the energy and effort that's going into it. Traverse Connect is acting as a true innovator, incubator in the space that they're hosting this. And our college is a champion investor with Traverse Connect. And it's almost like we're now partnering with Traverse Connect in a way that we haven't, where we're playing around in a laboratory, trying stuff we've never done before. Hey, this is a new educational idea. Let's launch it in partnership with Traverse Connect, as opposed to let's launch it at the college.
Right.
We may bring it back and scale it at the college, but that's what I love. I love the newness of this relationship because it's never existed this way in the past as it does right now.
Fantastic. And the term Traverse Connect is a little bit new to me. So Michael, would you tell us what is Traverse Connect?
Yeah, so Traverse Connect, we were previously the Chamber of Commerce. Back in 2019,
Okay.
The Chamber of Commerce and Traverse Connect essentially became one to really focus on leading economic development in the Grand Traverse region. So, I mean, we support Northwest Michigan through a combination of business attraction, talent development, strategic coordination between businesses, between educators like NMC, like CMU, like these different organizations who are really trying to develop humans to their fullest potential. And I think going back to your point, Steve, of like humans are, I would argue that humans are one of the only species on Earth who are able to consciously choose to evolve. And this Human Flourishing Project is kind of this next step in human evolution of we can decide, like, if we want every human in the Grand Traverse region to become to reach their fullest potential, we have to have the resources and institutions in place to allow people to reach out for help and say, like, I as Michael want to become the best human I possibly can be. So, but how do I do that? And that's where Human Flourishing comes into play. That's where NMC and Traverse Connect and 20 Fathoms and OOPS and all these great organizations who want to help come into play. But the key ingredient is people have to want to become the best version of themselves. And that's why I think that's what makes the Grand Traverse region so different is live in a beautiful place. When you go home from work, you can go to the beach, you can go boating, you can enjoy the winters and skiing. But in your day-to-day job where you're contributing to society, you can do it in a way that is going to enable you to reach your maximum potential. I think that's what's so special.
I think it's very special. This morning, I was at a women's coffee clutch, if you will, through Northern Michigan Women's Magazine. And there were probably 17 women there. And the majority of them have been in Traverse City for 1 year, coming from Montana, coming from San Francisco. coming from all sorts of places in the United States to beautiful Traverse City. And they are exactly the type of person you're describing. People that self-selected. And I think that's the key thing. My father, he loved bridge, and he was trying to explain to somebody, why do people like to play bridge? And it's hard. And he said, you gotta wanna. And so what I'm hearing you say, Michael, is that people need to self-select. They need to want to really grow. And if you want to grow and you want to become all you can be, you're creating the environment to make that a reality.
Absolutely. I think one kind of critical aspect of this is like, I love working with entrepreneurs, because you know what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Self-sacrifice and self-motivation. You have to be self-empowered to create something. And it's those individuals who are going to reach out to the resources that are available to make something happen. So, I mean, like you, all the work that you've done is just absolutely incredible. And you're a doer. And when people get involved, that's when things happen. And the most successful investors and partners that we have are the ones who get involved, who reach out to other businesses, who are coming to the events and networking and leveraging the talent resources that Traverse Connect works very hard to put together. So we have a small but mighty team at Traverse Connect, but we're all inspired every day when we come to work, because we get to see active change in promoting prosperity in the Grand Traverse region. So it's so exciting.
It is. I'm getting teary-eyed. I love that. I love that you help entrepreneurs in Northern Michigan and acknowledging what they do, because there's a lot of sacrifice. What does economic development in Grand Traverse region, economic development means so many different things. What does that look like in Northern Michigan and in Traverse City specifically? If I wanted to develop my business in the Traverse City area, how could you help me?
Yeah. So I think there's two questions there. So first, what is economic development? I guess if you go to traverseconnect.com, you can find this on our website. But essentially, it means that we're working to make the Grand Traverse region a diversified economic destination by supporting and attracting growth-oriented enterprises. So our community stakeholders are really identifying the specific goals in terms of economic metrics, such as educational attainment, technical jobs, and growth of our working age population. And we have specific metrics we're trying to hit by 2030 to really differentiate the Grand Traverse region as an economically, healthy and strong place to bring your business, to grow your business, to start your business. If you want to love your quality of life and love what you do for your work, the Grand Traverse region is the place to.
Excellent, excellent. I know that we have several folks that have been on the podcast that have really grown their business in the area, in the Traverse City area, and they would probably echo what you're saying. The thing that people really like to resonate with is a story of a business that may have leveraged the partnership with TC Connect. And that gets back to you, Steve, and how you're leveraging what TC Connect can do for your enterprise.
Right.
And so we'd like to kind of understand how the development of OOPS and the development of the Human Flourishing Project, how does that kind of embrace with the economic development for the region?
Well, that's a great question. When people are flourishing, when humans are flourishing and living in the fullness of their potential, economic development will be flourishing as well. So business is realizing and learning that it's more than profit.
Exactly.
We exist for a deeper, bigger, higher purpose than profit. And if businesses are experiencing the empowerment of the people that work for those businesses, you couldn't be in a better situation as a business owner. If I have a business and people, if I'm running a college and all my faculty are there serving the college and serving the students, trying to help each one of those students discover and experience who they were created to be, That is a win-win model for everybody that's involved. I can give you an example of this. I won't mention her name, but I had a student show up in an accounting class. She already had a degree in clarinet from Western Michigan. She took one accounting class and she came alive. And I remember saying to her, I'll pretend her name is Mary. I said, you know what, Mary, you really get this. You get it at a level that's deeper than most people do. Through that, she ended up studying accounting, got her CPA, works in Traverse City as a CPA, and is now an adjunct faculty course at the college.
Oh, what a great
I mean,
story.
that is to me, that's why I'm an educator.
Look at the symbiosis there. That's what a great story.
And if I can connect that story back to the business realm,
Please.
I talk to accountants in Traverse City all the time. Every accountant I talk to has more than enough business up here. And I think that's a little bit of a misconception about the Northern Michigan region, is that, oh, if I go there, I'm not going to have clients. If I go there, I'm not going to be able to create my manufacturing facility or have clients as a lawyer or a doctor or whatever you want to be. The business is here. Like, the opportunity is here, but people just don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I've said this 4 times already, but if you want to love what you're doing and love the place that you live, this is the perfect place to be. And like we said at the beginning, this used to be a hidden jewel.
Right.
The Northern Michigan region, but people are coming.
Right.
So our job as Traverse Connect is to help grow the region in a way that the opportunity remains, but we still have that small town feel, that small town thing that makes Michigan, Michigan.
Well, Michael, that all sounds great. From a high level, can you give us some specific ways that you do help businesses specifically?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you go to Traverse, honestly, we could talk about that for 3 podcast episodes, but I guess in short, if you go to travisconnect.com, you can find resources for talent and recruitment, business financing, mentorship and startup support, regional support, DE&I, infrastructure education. I mean, we have a person solely dedicated to attracting new businesses and helping them get here. We have an entire program called Michigan's Creative Coast, run by a just absolutely fantastic colleague of mine, Abby Beaudry, where if you are kind of curious, can I make it in Traverse City? Can I find a house? Am I going to like the culture? We have a group of let's call them Traverse City experts called Northern Navigators, who you can talk to and ask every question you have about the region and get those questions answered. So whether it's professional development or finding where you want to live or you want to start a business, we have every resource you could possibly need to do that. And it's what makes us so excited, because we get to do things differently. Our fantastic CEO, Warren Call, gives us the free reign to go about our jobs and help the economic and help the region in the way that we see fit, because he wouldn't hire us if we didn't have that vision, didn't agree with that vision. So although we're a chamber and we have that the view of the bay and half the pay, we're all very excited about the work, which is why we all work so hard to make this the best place to live in the world.
Well, when I used to work for IBM, and I was in the Grand Rapids office for 5 years before I wanted to relocate to the Traverse City IBM branch. And my branch manager told me, well, Rose, a view of the bay is going to be half your pay. However, I made more money in Traverse City than I made in any of my other jobs for IBM. So
maybe that's a bit of a myth.
It was a myth, but you know what it did do? It kept everybody else away, and I got the job.
There you go.
Say that to people you know. No, we live the way. It's half the pay. That's what you're paying at.
So tell me, what are some of my common misconceptions that you see, that you run into when you're trying to, tell people about your job and how you help people with Traverse Connect? What are they confused about?
So I think there's a few misconceptions. One is that we're just a chamber and we're here to be just the business connector. We don't have resources beyond our networking events. Go to traversconnect.com, look through it for at least 15 minutes, and I guarantee you'll change that perspective. Second thing is the name. Because we were formerly the chamber, getting that news out about us becoming Traverse Connect is the big one. So I've heard us called TC Connect multiple times. I've heard us be called the Connect Place or Traverse City Connect, the Chamber of Commerce. We are Traverse Connect specifically because we are focused on connecting the region in every way possible that is going to promote economic development. We want people to find jobs. We want family sustaining careers. And we want people to enjoy their lives up here for their entire life.
Wonderful. So Traverse Connect, really, you're connecting people to everything that they want. So where does Traverse Connect fit into the OOPS world then?
So, I mean, it's a great question and one that we're honestly still working on figuring out. We're actively in that process, but I'm excited to I get to work with amazing partners at OOPS like Steve, like Nick Beetleson, like Will Kitchen, like Brett Sigworth. And I think where we come into this is we're one of many great organizations. So I'm thinking like NMC, 20 Fathoms, Venture North, Michigan Works, like there's a lot of these great organizations who are working together to try to support this entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we want to be a supportive connector of that. We're not trying to own or create a scope around any of this. OOPS is still growing. And I think one of the best parts about OOPS is it's founder focused. Bring your challenges and you have a group of people who are selfless in their desire to support your business growth.
Mhm.
And as an economic development organization, we love that. We want that to remain as a safe space for entrepreneurs to come and discuss. However, for us, we want to provide resources and make it so those entrepreneurs can grow and scale and develop in the Traverse City region, in the Grand Traverse region.
So let me paint the picture. So I go to OOPS and I'm in this group, and I know I've been to several meetings. There's 20 people or so in a room, and each person describes their business or the business idea, and then they offer they ask a question. Hey, I need help with let's say I need help growing my business. I'm not getting enough sales, let's say. And I'm not, I know another one was, I am not finding the right employees. I need more staff. And so I bring that problem or question or need to the group. And then Steve, how would you handle a person, let's say I need more staff? What would happen if I needed more employees at my business and I go to OOPS with that problem? How would OOPS help me?
Well, it's a place for connection. So immediately Will Kitchen would jump all over that and he would be emailing people and
Okay.
letting people know that we've got somebody here with a need. If it's
They've
for
got
staff,
jobs.
we got people who have jobs and we would just network that out. We get less of that than we do. I just have a business idea.
Okay.
And I have this idea early on in OOPS, we'd have people come in, cross their arms, hang their head and say something like, I lost my North Star. And we say, what do you mean you lost your North Star? An hour later, that person's standing, excited, leaning in and actually saying, do I have to leave or can I stay?
Awesome.
And so they would stay and then another person would share their idea, maybe with their head down. I want to do this. I'm not sure. And now those two people that I'm mentioning, I won't mention their names, but those two people now have real companies selling product nationally.
Wow.
And so I
Wow.
came in with an idea. I feel a little sheepish. This has been it's part of what the reason I'm shucking and jiving here, whatever, is we don't know the secret sauce other than it's a place where we share ideas and we care about the person first. Everybody walks away going, this place is amazing. And I don't know what it is. And we're kind of going, neither do we. Because we're not twiddling our thumbs and rolling out a master plan.
Right.
We just created this space and we're watching the magic happen.
Wow.
And that's what happens. When you mentioned someone coming to Traverse City and saying, would I like it here or could I make it here? Part of me says, just come to an OOPS meeting on Tuesday, share what you're all about and see what happens.
Absolutely.
And that would be a great place to say, could I actually make a go of it in Traverse City? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think like to talk about the talent question, like the thing is people don't know about the talent resources that are available. So like Michigan's Creative Coast, if you are hiring someone where you're going to be able to pay them $45,000 a year or more, or $22 an hour or more, you can post on the Michigan Creative Coast website.
Wow, who knew that?
Right. And that Michigan Creative Coast is part of the You Can Do It in Michigan program that Governor Whitmer has really been pushing. And that page of jobs gets marketed outside of the state of Michigan, trying to attract people to the Northern Michigan region. So you may not have the talent you need at this moment, but post your jobs on Michigan Creative Coast and see what happens.
Wow, that I had no idea that was. Thank you. Thank you for
And the
sharing
talent
that.
that exists in Traverse City, I am amazed at the kind of people that are moving to Traverse City or already live in Traverse City. The entrepreneurial spirit and the talent bed is just huge.
Yeah.
You know, people from Google, people from Apple, people that have been in their fourth or fifth startup. And I just continually scratch my head and go, who is attracting all these people to Traverse City? But it's this amazing ecosystem. It's like mushrooms finding a forest, and man, are they going to grow? Right?
Exactly.
It's
That's
just like,
another good
holy
metaphor.
mackerel, these people are just all showing up. And I think all of us are scratching our heads in a sense and going, what is happening here? Something is happening.
It's special.
It is. It really is.
And maybe if I tie a little bow on this kind of question of like how does Traverse Connect and Oops kind of come together, I would say like my hope is that we can continue to partner with Oops, with NMC, with all the organizations that I've mentioned so far, and in particular the like really brave entrepreneurs who are taking that massive risk of being an entrepreneur. Because I'm an entrepreneur myself. I know it's hard, but we want to be able to support, advise, provide the resources that you need to grow in this region. So that way, 10 years down the road, you're at a place where you can support the next generation of entrepreneurs to continue to grow this region and make this a hub of like the best place to be in the world. Like that's the goal. Like everyone here knows it's the best place to be in the world. And there's a little bit of a culture of like, don't come here because we wanted to save Traverse City, but that's
Don't mess with my boat slip.
Don't mess with my boat slip.
The thing
Exactly.
about Traverse City is it's not landlocked. There's, you can expand, and Northern Michigan is so beautiful, whether it's Traverse City or Petoskey or Cadillac. Northern Michigan really is very vast, and there's a lot of untapped resources that we can go to as well. But Traverse City definitely has the airport, they have the college, they have the shopping, they have all of the infrastructure that is necessary to really launch, whether it's manufacturing, on entertainment. I just think that there's so many very exciting things happening there that's drawing so many people. So how does human flourishing really, how do you foresee the Human Flourishing Initiative working? And if I were to ask you in 1 year, in 3 years, Steve, and your vision for the Human Flourishing Credentialing Project has flourished in itself, how does that look? What does that look like for us in a year or 3?
So right now we're in the inception stage. We're raising up our initial faculty, and we'll be launching with the help of Traverse Connect. We'll be launching our first cohort in the fall. But we had our first faculty meeting last week, and the energy was palpable. It was amazing. We had 5 different people, all bringing different gifts. They're all people from our community, so that you're going to walk down the street and see your professor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, there's my professor.
Yes.
And so we're raising up the faculty right now. We're launching it.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
Because I want us to get a little bit more down to brass tacks, if you will. Like, what is this? And so I'm going to read through these different modules or nodes, if you will, of human flourishing.
Can I start with the first one? Because it ties to Traverse Connect.
Yeah, please.
So the first one is design your life.
We need to get a little bit more tactical or more, let's get down to earth a little.
Okay, so the first one we offer, first course or experience, is called Design Your Life. Now, that's not something we created in a vacuum. We're partnering with Stanford. Stanford knows we're partnering with it. I shared this credential with the executive director at Stanford, and she loved it.
You mean the Stanford out in California?
Is that where they're located?
Oh my gosh.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in California. Because we went out there and got some training, so they're familiar with us a little bit. But when we couched it in human flourishing, Her comment was, I love what you're doing with this.
Nice. Wow.
So let me share a story.
That's-
So in creating that content, I made up a series of small videos. Well, first of all, what does that content have to do with human flourishing? That's a great question. Because if you live in the 21st century, well, two things for design your life. Number one, you have to be a person. And number two, you have to live in a
Not a
world.
robot.
Not a robot.
Okay.
So
Not
robots
AI.
can't design their life.
Not
So
an AI.
design your life fits you if you meet the two qualifications. Number one, you have to be a person. And number two, you have to live in a world where there's constant change. That is our world.
That sounds familiar.
So we're helping people to understand that design is an operating system for being human in the 21st century. I need to think like a designer, learn like a designer, act like a designer. There's no such thing as failure. I'm wayfinding my way forward, experience after experience after experience after experience. And it's normal to be living this way.
Mhm.
That is not easy to do.
Change.
If you haven't been brought up that way, that's a hard way to learn to live.
It is.
But it fits us. It's like a pair of clothing that fits us. So I made a series of small videos and I shared them actually with Brenda at Traverse Connect. And she watched them and she contacted me and said, wow, I really like this. We would like to get involved in this.
Now, are those videos somewhere our audience can see?
They absolutely are. It's called Taste and See. And I can make that available through you.
Yes, absolutely. We'll put it on the link below.
Anybody in the world can go on and see 4 modules under Design Your Life. They're small. It's called Taste and See for a reason. You go into a restaurant, let's try appetizers before the meal. You get appetizers and Design Your Life to decide, do I really want the meal, and take the whole course.
Awesome.
So that's the thinking behind Design Your Life.
Yeah,
Some of the
that's
other
very-
courses.
So let me just say that's
Yes.
very tactical. That's something you can do right now. You can see and touch. What does it mean to this human flourishing concept that's so unique and that's really starting right here at NMC in Traverse City? And
Yeah, and if there's a
Oops.
listener or a watcher, anybody, I'm a teacher, so I want to help people, right? Anybody who wants to learn anything about Taste and See, Design Your Life, I never heard of it. You tell me you'll make this available to me for free. It is available to you for free. Let us know. Let me know. I will send you an e-link. You'll have immediate access, and you might think it's terrible. You might think it's good, but at least you'll have a free resource and you can be the judge as you listen to it. See if it resonates with you as, man,
That's a great
that seems
offer.
like relevant.
What a
living.
great offer. And that's really putting your money where your mouth is. So what do you do after you design your life?
So we've got different courses. Let me just hit a couple of nuances. Vocation and calling. Would you expect a community college in Traverse City, Michigan to be offering courses in vocation and calling? Yes, that's what we're doing, right? Vocation, voca, it comes from the word voca, which is the Latin, it means voice. And so vocation and calling, helping people live in the fullness of the potential. Why am I on this planet? What is meaning and purpose in life? For this cause was I born. That's how
my
I
gosh.
became an educator.
That resonates so much with the up and coming generations.
Yes.
That they want to know they need answers.
Yep.
They want those answers.
So that's one. Transformational curiosity created in Traverse City. I'm going to put a plug for Erica Hansen has created content called Transformational Curiosity. It's fresh, it's new, it's original, and it's coming out of Traverse City.
What is it?
I heard about, so it's about, it's her acronym is SOS. You have to suspend the belief system that brought you to where you are. You need to be open to change. That's the O in SOS. And then the last one is seek. You have to actively seek different viewpoints, different opinions than the ones that brought you to where you are. And she is the author of this. I'm just trying to empower her to be able to launch it and offer it. But when you hear her speak about it, you just go, this girl is deep, man.
Wow.
She really knows what she's talking about. So she's one of the faculty members.
Wonderful.
Transformational curiosity. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds like you're trying to get people to question their own paradigms.
Yes. Because transformation, so here's the definition I would use for transformation. It doesn't come with Steve Rice. It comes from Peter Block. Transformation is adopting a different narrative from the one that brought you to your present reality.
Mm.
And I love that because he says, if it doesn't scare you, you don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
So here's my perfect example. A caterpillar has to embrace a very different narrative, that of becoming a butterfly, if it's going to experience transformation.
Wow. I love your metaphors, Steve.
So transformation is what everything is about.
I learned best that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank
so,
you. Yes.
so transformational curiosity, spirituality, creativity. We've got a CEO from a German company, Jamie Gallagher. He's going to be leading creativity. He's going to be helping out with leadership. We've got Bill Marsh involved as a faculty member. He's going to be teaching emotional intelligence and probably have some say in leadership. Erica, Jamie, and Bill are kind of already collaborating about creating a leadership event at the Alluvion. And this was Erica's idea.
Wow.
You know, so I just get out of the way.
Where do I
step back.
fit in?
Where do you want to fit in?
I want to play. I want to be a part of this.
I want to play entrepreneurial mindset.
Absolutely.
And the reason entrepreneurial mindset is connected with human flourishing is because one of the transitions I think we're going to see is right now when people hear entrepreneurship, they think business.
Yeah.
What we want to do is have people hear entrepreneurship and think human. So entrepreneurial mindset is a group out of Cleveland, Ohio. They have a whole program, which is basically entrepreneurship as a way of being in the world, not just starting up a business, but because entrepreneurship involves imagination, creativity, innovation. The culmination of it is entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Well, imagination, that's a very unique human trait.
It is.
So I think we're going to move entrepreneurship. We're going to expand the definition of entrepreneurship. We're going to deepen it and further understand it in business. But then we're going to go, wait a minute, I love art and I'm an entrepreneur? Yes. And so I'm just excited about seeing where all this will go. And again, this is very oopsie because we don't have a master plan and we're not rolling it out. We're just kind of stepping into it one step at a time.
Iterating.
Yes.
And I just want to argue that like the entrepreneurial mindset isn't just for like someone trying to start a business.
Right.
You can have the entrepreneur. This is part of like what we're talking about earlier with Business Made Simple.
Right.
Like Don Miller here.
We all have our own heroes, and
we
and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't follow those authors and those thought leaders. They're so important.
And essentially Don Miller's argument is that if you're going to be a value-driven professional, which I would argue every entrepreneur is a value-driven professional because they have to be. They have to create value from 0 to 1 to get from 0 to 1. And whether you're starting your own business or you're a new coordinator or a manager at a large organization, you have to have the entrepreneurial mindset of how can I take this, what I have 0 and take it to 1, to progress, to creating value out of nothing. And I think this human flourishing just is and will do a fantastic job of helping people have that mindset, whether they're starting their own business or working for IBM.
Yes, I just love the diagram and the thought and teamwork that the thought you put into this, as you as well as all of your co-creators have put into this, is amazing to me. I just think that you really are pulling together all the things that are really making this era in our human existence unique. I mean, you brought in all the things that are changing around us today, and I'm just so excited to know you and to hear about all of these things. The thing that I think is really cool is that Traverse Connect also has brought on someone like Michael to help people see the financial side. Because I know one of the things that you do, Michael, is that you put legs on this and you help people with what is your exact title, Michael?
So my exact title is Investor Engagement Coordinator.
Right. And that's why I brought that up. Investment Engagement Coordinator.
Yes.
So does that mean money anyway? Does that mean money in any way?
Partially. So it's investor engagement. So we don't necessarily call our members of Traverse Connect members. We call them investors because they're investing in the economic development of the region. They're investing in trying to get dollars from Lansing to come up to the Northern Michigan region. I mean, we're working with like the Northern Michigan Chamber Alliance to work with other chambers around Northern Michigan, pretty much from north of Grand Rapids all the way up into the UP, to essentially say, hey, there's a lot of people who are trying to create businesses and live their best lives in Northern Michigan. And essentially people who are investing, who are investors in Traverse Connect, are investing in that future vision of the best that Traverse City can be, the best that the Grand Traverse region can be.
Excellent, excellent. So, wow, what what a wonderful podcast we've had. And I always like to make sure that the guests on our podcast have every opportunity to explain where they're coming from. This is your time. Is there anything at all we've missed that you'd like to get the audience on board with before we wrap it up? Steve, do you have any final ideas?
With an ask, actually, if this podcast strikes a chord with you in any way, in terms of either a partnership like we're having right now with Traverse Connect, just that partnership space seems fresh, or just the whole idea of human flourishing, wanting to know more, wanting to learn, you've got questions, you get a sense of, you're crazy, I don't want to hear anything about this again, or you know what, there's something inside of me that says this is the direction for the future of higher education, I would like to learn more. Please reach out. That's what I would say. Just please reach out. Love to connect with more people who are similarly ilked, and have a similar passion. So I would just throw that out there as an invitation, because we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I think asking the right questions is really important. I will share that, there's a unique thing between Traverse City is in the middle of our nation. On the West Coast, we've got Stanford. On the right coast, we've got Harvard. Stanford is involved in some level at this Design Your Life. Harvard is also involved because Harvard has a human flourishing program.
Oh.
And out of that program, they have a global flourishing network. The executive director of that network wants to be part of that.
Fantastic.
So I do think Harvard is going to be linked to this in one way or another. And I sit back and look and wonder, we got a connection on the West Coast, we got a connection on the East Coast. I think something significant and epic is going to happen right in the center of our nation.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to flow out of Traverse City.
So
really
we really want to have you back in, let's say, 6 to 12 months to keep us apprised.
Sure.
To how
The journey
is progressing.
I'll say we thought ABC, we experienced XYZ.
Yeah, that's evolution.
Yeah, that's specifically how it goes.
That's evolution. And TC Connect and Traverse City Connect. Sorry if I said it.
You got two of the misconceptions right there.
Sorry. Any last words or anything you'd like to leave with us?
Yeah, I think
Traverse Connect.
Traverse Connect, yeah. So I'd say, like, if you're in the Northern Michigan region, and if you're a business that's struggling, or you're a business that's doing great, or you're an entrepreneur who's trying to get started, or if you're just here working for a business, go to traverseconnect.com. I'll leave my contact information in the show notes. If you're interested in getting involved in the future of what Traverse City and the Northern Michigan region can be, what already is and will become, please reach out. My job is to get connected with as many people up here as possible to help them live their best lives and help them grow their businesses as effectively and efficiently as possible. We want to help. Like that's our whole mission. Is we want you to be successful up here. It's our whole shtick.
Wonderful. Wow. What a great wrap up. And with that, we are going to invite you to take a look at the show notes and engage with Steve and Michael at your soonest convenience. Do it now. If you have a question or an idea, show up at an OOPS meeting. Remember, they're Tuesdays at 9 o'clock down at the Nobo District in Traverse City, that beautiful area. North Boardman, that new
Common ground.
Common ground on 8th
Street.
Common
on
ground on
8th Street. It's such a inviting and welcoming environment. And so with that, we'll see you there, and we will close out today. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.